This is Issues Today. Here is Bob Gorley.
Well, there's been a lot of damage because of natural disasters in our country, particularly in the last couple of months with hurricanes, and of course tornadoes always are a threat to certain parts of the country. And it comes up particularly with roofs because a roof is something that's vulnerable to wind and all kinds of problems. We're going to talk about that, what to do if you have a problem with that, with Bernie Staub, who is a home improvement expert, has been doing this for a long time and particularly specializes with roofing disasters. Bernie, good to have you with us today on the program.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, let's talk about this because we were talking before we went on the air about we had a personal experience here with roofs. You know, you don't think anything about your roof as long as it's not leaking. All of a sudden, maybe there's a big storm or something or a big wind gust, and that can cause damage. And all of a sudden, you're probably on your phone to your insurance company, but insurance doesn't always cover this, does it?
Not always. But most of the time when you have someone qualified helping you out, it will get covered when you have damage from a storm.
Right. What are some of are there certain roofs that are more vulnerable to damage than others?
It depends on what part of the country you're in. If you're somewhere that gets a lot of hail, a lot of times the cement tiles and stuff like that are very vulnerable. Asphalt shingles are always pretty vulnerable to that. And then as far as wind goes, asphalt's probably the most vulnerable.
Really? Now that surprises me to hear that. And of course the concrete tiles, which I'm very familiar with, you think that they're heavier certainly than most roofs, and you have if you have a house that you want to put one on, you have to kind of reinforce that area and that type of thing. But they are vulnerable, I guess, because wind can get under them a little easier than some roofs. Is that correct?
Yeah, wind can get under them a little bit easier. They're not really made for super high wind. There's some other systems that are a little better for wind, but they do tend to crack during hail. So when there's hail, a lot of times you'll get chips in them, and they're hard to replace.
Right, yeah, they'll chip up and that kind of thing, so you have to be careful. Should you have there's some people that have been talking about they have a yearly kind of maintenance program. Is that necessary to have a maintenance program with roofs?
Sure, I would always recommend that. Most of the damage that you have to a roof you cannot see from the ground. So even after a storm comes through, you can see very obvious damage, but there's a lot of things that happen with storms that you don't know about until it's too late, after it leaks. So you always want someone to be able to check the roof and notice the things that you can't see from the ground or that haven't started leaking yet and get on top of them before they do.
One of the things that happen in some of the more severe hot climates, I guess, is the paper underneath can get damaged, and you wouldn't even know about that, would you?
Yeah. No, you wouldn't know about that. Until it is too late. You start to see blisters in the shingles and things like that that actually are mistaken for storm damage. A lot of times they're mistaken for hail, but a lot of times they're caused by poor ventilation.
Are roofs lasting longer than they used to now? It seems like asphalt shingle roofs are more durable than they used to be.
Yeah, they're a bit heavier. They've changed some of the warranty options in the last 15 years, but they're meant to last. Most of the roofs that are going on now are full system roofs where everything is made by the same company. Underlayments and ice and water shields and roofing and ridge vent and things like that is all made by the same company, and they're putting a higher warranty value on them.
Oh, I see. So so all the roofers are using the same company. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, but most of the companies that are doing roofs are using all the same company within their company, right? So if you're putting on a CertainTeed roof, you're going to use all CertainTeed products typically.
There were some roofs, and I know in Southern California some people have these. They're kind of steel and rock roofs, and are they a good roof? They're a lot lighter certainly than some of the roofs.
Yeah, the stone-coated steel. They're gaining momentum. There's a lot of people that really like them, a lot of guys in roofing that really like them, and there's some that don't care for them as much. They're a nice roof. They're light. They go together good. They look really good, and they warranty them for a long time. Yeah.
I think they have some of them 50 years. I think the only problem with them, if you live in a area that has moisture, they tend to put kind of a little mold on them that comes on, and you have to spray them down. But
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
the
And
only-
that happens with
Yeah.
that happens with asphalt too at times. You know,
Right, it
anything
does.
anything on the wrong side of the house will normally grow a little bit of algae, and but metal isn't as susceptible to the algae as asphalt is. The asphalt will get actually eaten by the algae, where the metal stands up to it a little better.
what's the best way to pick a good roofer? What are some of the things that people should do if they're going to replace their roof or have it inspected, whatever it happens to be?
Well, reviews would be, probably the best way to kind of check out really what a company's doing. There's really not many good ways to scrub the reviews. You got to go through a process. You want to make sure that workers' comp and liability is intact and they're insured. But really talking to people who've had work done by them the best way.
Are the solar systems that people are putting up in certain parts of the country, are they affecting the roofs at all? Is that going to be something that they're going to have to worry about at some point?
We're not seeing a lot of effect from them. It's just costing sometimes more money to do a roof because of them, because they've got to be removed and stored while the roofing's happening and then reinstalled. So some of that stuff's costing more when it comes time to do a roof.
Thanks for the visit, Bernie Staub, our guest. It's primeroofingpa.com for more information.